But the dreamers of the day, carry what it is said, they are dangerous. The dreamers of the day are dangerous. For them they act on their feet with eyes wide open and make that person journey wouldn't have been what I am today without you both. And it helped me quite a lot in having those difficult conversations in an inspired way.
I am so blessed to say that. Before I introduce myself, I must remind you how one of your training helped me a lot. I've been following you and I have really learned a lot from you, and you're like really like a trailblazer, but you're so practical. You're so practical, and my job is to serve you to the highest level. More importantly, to challenge you to grow, to challenge you to go, to challenge you to expand. Welcome.
But the dreamers of the day, carry what it is said, they are dangerous. The dreamers of the day are dangerous. For them they act with eyes wide open and make that person journey wouldn't have been what I am today without you both. And it helped me quite a lot in having those difficult conversations in an inspired way.
I'm so blessed to say that. Before I introduce myself, I must remind you how one of your training helped me a lot. I've been following you and I have really learned a lot from you, and you're like really like a trailblazer, but you're so practical. My job is to serve you to the highest level. More importantly, to challenge you to grow, to challenge you to go, to challenge you to expand. Welcome. To go.
But the dreamers of the day, carry what it is said, they are dangerous. The dreamers of the day are dangerous. For them they act on their feet with eyes wide open and make that person journey wouldn't have been what I am today without you both. And it helped me quite a lot in having those difficult conversations in an inspired way.
I'm so blessed to say that. Before I introduce myself, I must remind you how one of your training helped me a lot. I've been following you and I have really learned a lot from you, and you're like really like a trailblazer, but you're so practical. You're so practical, and my job is to serve you to the highest level. More importantly, to challenge you to grow, to challenge you to go, to challenge you to expand. Welcome.
But the dreamers of the day, Gary, what did he say? They are dangerous. The dreamers of the day are dangerous. For they may act on their feet with eyes wide open and make that person.
Journey wouldn't have been what I am today without you, Coach Angie. It helped me quite a lot in having those difficult conversations in an inspired way.
I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to say that. Before I introduce myself, I must remind you how one of your training helped me. I'm following you, and I have really learned a lot from you. And you're like really like a trailblazer, but you're so practical.
My job is to serve you to the highest level. More importantly, to challenge you to grow, to challenge you to welcome.
Hi guys. Hi. That was a little bit of an introduction from us here. I'm excited. I'm so like 100% so excited. And this is our pre-show, and I am just going to get on with it because it's a short session today to introduce what we are going to be doing tomorrow and for the next 5 days. Yeah, there we go. We are recording it now so that those ones who do not have an opportunity to watch live today, being Sunday, being Father's Day, you can watch the replay. But I really do encourage you to watch the replay. I am like 100% excited. You know, you guys know that I keep saying I'm excited, and the truth is, I feel overjoyed, overexcited to be presenting this Hot Flashes Be Gone workshop because it has given me so much joy to actually come here and speak about both personal and professional concepts about menopause and perimenopause. I am so excited. My goodness, the stuff that I found when I was researching, and also I've got my own personal story as a woman over 45 years old, right? And it's been such a joy to actually talk about this. When I was writing the content, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so good. Anyway, you've watched a little bit of an introduction about who I am. My name is Angela Karanja, and I am a psychologist, a world-renowned psychologist, and a best-selling author. And I will be presenting the Hot Flashes Be Gone workshop for the next 5 days, right? So I want you to spread the word. Let all these women who are over 45 gather here. Actually, a lot of other friends have said, why not include those who are 40 years old? Yes, bring them on, because if you've got information, you know, when you're forewarned, then you are forearmed. You are more prepared. And I am so happy to be here. Right, you drop, let me just bring the mic around this way. I want you to tell me where you're joining us from, because I want this to be more of an introduction, us getting to know you and you getting to know us more. And of all my workshops, this has had the biggest uptake. We've got hundreds of you guys registered. And for me, the joy that I feel, just knowing that knowing this information is going to transform your life. You know, all those crazy aches and pains and bizarre, nasty behavior that women in menopause have. Can you imagine that actually dissipating? Like, as I was working with some of the women, they cannot remember when they were last not in pain. And I'm like, this is not on. Research shows us that 90% of women in perimenopause or menopause period, they suffer greatly with aches, knees, toes, ankles, back, neck, anywhere. It's like, and then you're like, what is this? And so what has happened, a lot of people have synonymized menopause with an illness. It's not an illness, it's a season that every woman who has ever had periods has to go through, because there comes a point when these periods stop. So we begin to enter this other season, this other stage. But it doesn't mean that we must suffer, we must struggle. And that's why I'm doing this Hot Flashes Be Gone. And we're not just going to be talking about hot flashes. We're going to be talking about many other symptoms, like headaches. We're going to be talking about, like night sweats. We're going to be talking about losing hair. We're going to be talking about dry skin. We're going to be talking about nails. It's like something happens. It's like someone is wearing away. It doesn't have to be like that. What is it that 10% of the women that don't suffer in menopause, what do they know that the majority don't know? And that's what we're going to be discussing over the 5 days. What is it that they know that the majority don't know, that keeps them? And by the way, don't start shouting, oh, it's the genes, or it's because they've got, I don't know, this has got nothing to do with genes or having money, or this is all about alignment. And any of us can learn how to align. Because when we align with our hormones, then they work for us, not against us. That's why I'm excited about this. And you know what? A lot of you have been asking me to, please tell us about this six element system, right? The 6-element system. We're going to be talking about the 6-element system on the 3rd day. I'll tell you what, when you see healthy people, it is not by, it's not by happenstance. Success has a system. There is alignment from within. And we'll be talking more on that, especially on this, like some of the symptoms that I have mentioned. They are just unnecessary. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to happen, right? And so before I get so carried away and almost start teaching, because I'm beginning to feel, I want to start dishing out the information, I want to know, what are some of the questions you would want us to answer in the workshop? Of course, we've got an outline and an overview of what we are going to be presenting. But as an educator, as an educator, as a presenter, as a speaker, as a psychologist, I'll be able to weave in so that I'm answering some of your questions. There's also another opportunity for you to come into our VIP side so that you can have your answers answered directly, like personalized answers. And here's the thing. This is what happens with expansion. As you begin to learn, as you begin to expand, your mind goes to different territories and you begin to ask more intelligent questions. And because this workshop is for professional women over 45, I'm expecting high-level questions, right? And thank goodness we've done so much research, and this community has so much wealth of information that we are able to have a conversation for change. So I'm totally excited. Now, before I get carried on, and you guys keep telling me like where you're checking in from, and those from whatever platform you're watching this from, right? Just let me know where you're coming in from, and I will get the assistant to let me know some of the places, and also actually, yeah, let me know some of the places and some of the spaces that these lovely women are coming from. And I want to share with you something deeply important, because what I want us to see is what exactly will be happening during the 5 days, right? So let me share something. You know, most of the time I like to just speak, but sometimes it's important for people to see what, like visually, what we are going to be doing. So I will share this. Hold up a moment. Pre-workshop show. Yay, there we go. Right, yeah, so here we go. So I'm gonna share this, and I'm so excited. Right, can you see that? So, in a nutshell, this is what we're doing for the next 5 days. The other day on social media, I asked, what does it mean for a woman to be well? What does it mean? And I got all sorts of answers, right? And this is the question that the community, the women, the beautiful women attending the 5 days are going to be answering. And what I said in my post was, all women are born beautiful, well women. All females are born beautiful, well women. But I'll show you. Let's go. What's happening? Oh, so of course you'll be answering what Wells looks like to you. What happens though with the knocks and stresses and lies of life? Can you see the middle circle? Can you see what's happening in the middle circle? Instead of now being beautiful, well woman, the wellness is getting affected, right? And I'll be asking the community to answer what kind of life knocks we've experienced. And then, can you move over and see the ailments, the aches, the bizarre behavior that happens, especially in menopause? Can you remember? We started with beautiful, well woman. Now, what we have at this stage is beautiful, in the middle there, not well woman. And you probably be asking, oh, how comes beautiful and woman is not changing? Because here's the thing. Your value as a beautiful woman does not change, no matter how many knocks in life you receive. And you as a woman, you do not change your biological formation, your biological DNA, it doesn't change. But the wellness can change it can be affected. And that is why these 90% of women, they struggle, they suffer. I mean, we're going to be talking more in depth about all the ailments. And sometimes when I listen, I'm like, God, this should not be happening. This is not necessary. And especially when we know there's something that can be done. And that's why I am both determined and excited to do this workshop. And you guys, I must tell you, we've got nearly 1,000 people who have registered. And I'm just asking you, make sure you show up for yourself. I hope that by tomorrow, we'll hit that 1,000 mark, right? But I am so excited. And I tell you that number, and some of you might think, oh, is that it? Or we know other people who've got tens of thousands or millions of people. For me, even if it's just one person, for me, that's excitement. It's exciting because this one person learns one thing that they can do to stop suffering, to stop struggling. That for me is good work done. Because why should we as women be dreading to go to bed to sleep because of fearing that we're going to be having night sweats and getting drenched, feeling like we've wet the bed? And then not have a good night's sleep. Again, hormones raging all over the place. And then because we haven't had a good night's sleep, we are cranky in the morning, we are dreading the day because we don't feel well. And who knows when the next hot flash is going to hit us? Why should we be going through life dreading one moment after the other? That's not a life to live. And that's why we're doing this Hot Flashes Be Gone, because we want to introduce women to how to not suffer in this season. This is a season we are at peak, Imagine all the experience you have gathered all your life. Imagine being in a position where you're more productive, where you're more happier, where you're happier, you're healthier. Imagine how much you can do. I mean, I don't even want to go to the more scary statistics of how many women leave work because of ailments, menopause-related ailments. Or a lot of women are in work, but the productivity is so low because you can't be bothered. You're just lethargic, but you don't want to go home because if you go home, you're not going to get paid. So you're just there, and this is what we call presenteeism. You're there, but you're not there. What kind of a life to live? What kind of a life is that? When there's actually another way that involves you aligning with your hormones, you aligning from within so that you can thrive, be productive, agile. Come on, actually getting up and feeling I am ready for the day. Now, no part of me aches. There's no chances that you're going to do something, you're going to lift your arms up and you're going to be embarrassed because you're all sweaty. Sometimes even that film of sweat begins to stink. Surely there is another way for us women. And I know this is a topic that is taboo, but here is what I know. Taboo topics keep us trapped. So we must talk about them, and not just talk about them, but do something about them so that we can rise above. And that's why we are here talking about this, and that's why I'm excited that these hot flashes will be gone within 5 days. You will begin to see magnificent results, but there's some work to be done. So we started with all women are born well, beautiful, well women. And then the aim of this workshop is to return all of us to being beautiful, well women. So remember, we started with beautiful, well women, beautiful, well women, and then there's the knocks and stresses of life, then the wellness is affected, and then at about this age, I challenge you to find a woman, one, because there is 10% of us who are not suffering, but 90%, and that means millions of women. And I'll be sharing some of the lies that have led to this, some of the lies that we have believed that have kept us captive and have kept us thinking, oh, this is okay. That is what women must suffer. You know, there is no, you know, some even say there's no pain without, you know, there's no gain without pain. And I ask them, so what gain is there in this particular pain? I mean, I would understand if you're going to the gym and working yourself out and there's some pain and then you are expecting a change, a gain. But when you just have these chronic pains, what gain is there? I'm gonna move quickly because I want to stop sharing this and just have a conversation with you. Yeah. So let me see some of the questions that you have been sent through. I can see them. Let's see. Hold on. Thank you. You're saying, Shakil, you're saying that you're ready. Thanks, Pauline. You're saying this is incredible. I'm so thankful that you're watching. Thank you. Let me have a look at the other side. Oh yeah, Lisa is one of our assistants. You're saying that, yeah. Thank you. That we've got people from all over the place over here. Oh, well, yeah, Mary. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Mary is asking whether we're going to be talking about the symptoms. Yes, we will be talking about the symptoms, but we will not focus mainly on the symptoms because the truth is most of us know what those symptoms are. Most people are suffering them, so we don't need to repeat them. What we need to be talking about, Conversations for Change, is about saying, yes, this is happening. The hot flashes are happening. So how do we mitigate that? Oh, yes, I'm drenching in bed every night. So what do I do to stop that? Yes, I'm having ankle pains. What do I do to stop that? Or I'm having headaches. What do I do to stop that? Or I'm having, back pains. What do I do to stop that? Here, we're about remedies, interventions, solutions. And that's why I'm so excited about our community. Yes, we do talk about a little bit about the symptoms, but anyone can Google symptoms on the internet. AI can give you all the symptoms of menopause. But what we are discussing here is how do we stop having these nasty, nasty aches and ailments, which for some people they've decided, oh, that's just the way it is. No, that's not just the way it is. I'm the first one to put my hand up. My pain threshold is 0. Why should I suffer when I don't have to? And like I said, if there is a pain and I'm expecting a gain, then that's different. But if it's just chronic, and there's something I can do about it, why not? I mean, I know I shared with some of you about the day, do you know, I wasn't even prepared. I can't say I was prepared for this menopause period, because for some reason, I never even thought about it. And unfortunately, if we don't plan, that means we are planning to fail. If we fail to plan, I can't remember who said that. If we fail, it's a quote by, I can't remember who said it. I'm sure you guys will fill me in. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And one of the things we're going to be doing in these sessions is actually planning about health, our own health, reclaiming our own health, right? So we're going to be putting a plan in place for ourselves so that we don't have to suffer, we don't have to struggle. And some of you may think this is so far-fetched because maybe you have been in pain or suffering for so long, you actually don't think there's a solution. There are solutions. And the same things, remember I said success has system, and health, for someone to be healthy, they have followed a certain system. They have followed a certain system. And that's what we are going to be sharing on day 3. Again, I said that's when we're going to be doing that 6-element system. And when you align with that 6-element system, you're off to the races, my friend. So this was just a short pre-show. Pre-workshop show, and I hope you've got a little bit of information about me, and I have had to meet a few of you here, right? Okay, I'm gonna thank you, all of you. Gosh, we've got some men here as well. Yeah, so I hope you can ask your partners, your wives to hop on, or once you've learned these ideas, these concepts, share with them. Or actually, you can be like my friend who actually, she works with men whose women are in their menopause years. So they understand what is this craziness that's happening, right? The craziness, all sorts that happen, and you guys, some of you have shared all the crazy stuff that happens in that stage, and it's not nice because it does disrupt relationships as well. There's a lot of relationships disrupted because sometimes there's angst, there's anxiety, there's anger, there is outbursts, And it doesn't have to be this way. We can be the rulers of our hormones. We are supposed to have dominion over ourselves, not the body take over us. How did that happen? That this body that is the vessel, right, became more than us, so that it's ruling us instead of us reigning over it. Where did we sleep? Where did we drop the ball? But again, these sessions, I always say, These are investigative sessions. These are conversations for change. These are not conversations to come and make you feel bad or guilty or shameful because these things have happened. Oh goodness, you will hear stories of my own stories that, you know, like for example, there's a time I was doing this presentation before I started actually proactively practicing what I'm going to be teaching and what we have researched to be what works. This time I was in the middle of a presentation and this hot flash came and I was, you know, I could feel the sweat soaking and seeping into my undersleeves. And I was about to do this exercise where they lift their arms and open their chest so that we can, you know, like opening the chest. And I couldn't do it because I was so embarrassed that I would be all sweaty on the armpits. And I mean, can you imagine that happening on a regular, on a daily? How must that knock someone's confidence? These things happen to us. They're not nice. They're not funny. But we can change them. We can decide, wait a minute, there's things I can do. There's ways I can change. There's this thing I can align with so that this doesn't happen. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what's going to happen. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about what really is wellness. You guys have heard health is wealth. And a lot of people take for granted the health until something happens. And then a lot of people have learned to just suffer and struggle and take it as a normal. Like I said earlier, there are people who can't remember when they last felt well, when they did wake up with an ache or a pain. And I'm like, that's not normal. That's not the way we're not supposed to operate in pain. We're supposed to operate whole. So what is it that we can do to make ourselves whole again? Because we must return to where we started. And there are things, and I'm going to be showing you all that. And it's so much fun because they are so simple, yet so overlooked. And sometimes because we are so used to suffering, the relief may feel like it's not normal. But if that's you, I mean, everyone has free choice. Everyone is free to do what they want. Everyone is free to adopt whatever they want. So on the first day tomorrow, we're going to be talking about what does beautiful, well woman means. And how is it that we move from there to becoming this so still beautiful and women, but so unwell, living such miserable lives, such painful, suffering lives? How do we get to there? I'll share about the lies of society that have made us get to there. Yeah. And then the second day, I'm going to be talking about how can we return. That is so much fun. Day 2 is going to be so much fun because we're going to talk about how do we return, because we can. And then day 3, that's when everyone, the community is just like this for waiting. What are these 6 elements, right? That we'll be sharing on that day. And then day 4, I'll be sharing a breakthrough practice to accelerate your results. Come on, this, I feel like just saying it now because I'm so excited because it's something I practice on a daily. And, think, oh, when I say I don't have this, when people are moaning about this pain, this ache, this what, and I say, no, I don't know that. I don't suffer with that. And they think I'm odd. Yes, I'm odd because we are in the 10% that don't suffer. Right? But what we want is that most people, more people can know this information so that we can all, I mean, imagine if more women were happier, more productive, healthier. Imagine how much the world would change. Imagine. I mean, imagine. And at that age, in fact, at that age is when most of us have either teenagers or adult kids. Imagine what adventures we would get up to when we are feeling whole and well. Oh, this excites me, right? Don't get me started with this excitement. Anyway. And then on day 5, of course, we'll be winding up and we will take you through the processes again. And just to make sure that everyone understands that these practices are simple. They are simple, and any of us, you don't need to be touched by an angel. It's not about luck. Although someone said, okay, then if people want to say it's luck, let them say it's luck. But luck is when preparedness meets opportunity, right? Or preparedness meets a challenge, yeah? So you are prepared, and that's why we're going to be talking about planning and preparing to be well and healthy. We have to be intentional about our own health. I mean, the law of gravity takes everything down here, right? It takes everything down. And there's no way we're going to live full, expanding, upwards lives whilst doing nothing, just sitting, doing nothing and thinking that our health is going to be okay. And then I'm going to be talking about a couple of deceptions. You will find on the internet, everyone talk, oh, all you have to do is exercise and eat well, and that menopause belly should go. No, not at all. We're talking about a whole different ball game here. It's a whole different ball game. And I said the other day, my community knows that if anyone is thinking there's a magic pill, this is not the place. We don't do magic pills. We don't do that. What we do is intelligent actions. And that's why we work with professional women, because I know you guys are aware. You guys are prepared to have these tough conversations. You guys are prepared to ask me difficult questions. Like, what's the rationale for that? Why are you saying this? How is this going to work for me? And those are the questions and the conversations that I want us to be having. And I'm excited about all of you. If you're watching this and you have not signed up for the workshop, go right now to www.wellwomanweekend.com. wellwomanweekend.com. Oh gosh, I've just got a question. So why is it called Well Woman Weekend? Because some of the activities that we do, actually, the reason we named it Well Woman Weekend was because we used to do weekend events where we would go and learn and then go and implement this. And that's how it came. Also, another person is asking, have you stopped doing Raising Remarkable Teenagers? No, I haven't. But this particular workshop is for women in menopause. And as you can imagine, because I've worked with women who have teenagers and adult kids, most of them are in their perimenopause or menopause period. And this is how these conversations started. And that's how I started sharing my own experiences. And I actually thought I was just sharing, like I said, you know, the parents would complain about this, about that. And I would wonder, oh, okay, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this, I'm doing this. And I would give suggestions from my own personal experience as well as from the research that I have done. And they started implementing these, and they began to see changes. And at the suggestion of some of them, they said, actually, why don't we share this information with everyone? Imagine what joy, what fun, how enlightened we would be if you shared this information. And that's how this workshop came about, Hot Flushes Be Gone, right? So those are your questions. Yep, there's going to be five days. Oh yeah, we have the VIP backstage pass. That is a special one that you can come and we can have a one-to-one conversation. And like I said, after listening to some of the information, like some of the questions I'm seeing now, we will not be able to answer today because first of all, today is the pre-workshop show and we will not be able to answer these today, but we can weave them in tomorrow or the next day. But I would love you to join us backstage because those conversations that happen there, they are deep. They are deep, deep conversation. And as you know, our workshops are just 1 hour. And in 1 hour, I can only cover so much. But when we go backstage, girl, we go deep, deep, deep. And we have what we call them, we don't call them hot seats, we call them love seats. We sit there, sister to sister, woman to woman, and we lay it down and come up with tangible solutions for the problems. And what we say is no woman left behind, because I believe that when we all work together, when we are all doing well together, we rise. We rise. And that's the beauty of this sisterhood that we have here. So I'm grateful that you're listening now. Please share this so that we can have loads more people tomorrow. If you're watching on replay, you are good too. But I really, really encourage you to come live because something happens on live, events. But I also believe that the spirit is still there, even in replays, because these words are definitely inspired. As you can see, I didn't even have a script or anything. It was just me having a conversation with you and excitement. Gosh, I said this was going to be a short session. I was expecting to speak for about 20-30 minutes. Looks like we've gone on for, it's nearly the top of the hour. I'm going to stop now. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And for those of you who are in the VIP backstage, you're going to receive your workbook tomorrow and your notebooks as well tomorrow. And also the links to our backstage conversations. because those backstage conversations start on Wednesday. So tomorrow we will have the session, and then Tuesday we'll have just the session, and then Wednesday we'll have the session and then the backstage session. For those of you who are in the VIP, again, we are having 5 more extra sessions. And you know, these sessions sometimes go until we finish addressing all the situations. And I'll tell you something, you guys, if you've never been backstage with us, there's so much laughter, there's so much learning, and there's so much growth that happens there. So much happens backstage at the VIP because expansion happens, and as the women expand, they ask even higher and more expansive questions, and that inspires even more expansive responses and solutions. And then, you know, what you call the spiral of growth, the spiral of expansion, it just goes, it's like, it just goes and goes and goes. It's like we don't want to stop. It's so good. You want to have that experience with us, right? I am excited, and I will see you all tomorrow. Please be ready. If you're not, again, as I said, if you're not already registered, please do. And I will send you all the information that's needed, your notepad that's needed for the notes tomorrow. And actually, right under this video, in whatever platform you're watching, we will drop this first. You know, you remember the thing I showed you, the script I showed you from Well Woman, how we come from being well women to actually getting to unwell. I'll send you that so that you can answer it, and that's for you to keep. We're not gonna be looking at the answers. This is self-work, that you earnestly answer that, because the more honest, authentic we can be with ourselves, the more we are likely to begin to heal, right? So it's yours to keep. And as you go through the workshops, you'll be filling in some of the information, and you'll be finding some of the solutions. So I'm excited, and I will see you tomorrow. And God bless you so very much. Bye-bye now.